From a talent standpoint, and there's no other way to put it, actually, if you don't want to take my words for it, take a look at this comment right here. Man, everyone is leaving, and yep, pretty much that's what's happening. Technically, not everyone's leaving, but at this point in time, that's how it feels. Because as bad as all this seems and looks right now, and I hate to say this, but it's the cold hard truth, it's going to get worse. Well, here's what I'm going to say, and this is my biggest question, and we're going to see in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days how many players are going to leave. Here we are again. Here we are again. A little deja vu here from only a few hours ago. Another star Alabama player and another great player on the offensive side of the ball has left the team. And the more I thought about it, the more I started to come to the conclusion that this is a bigger loss than Isaiah Bond. Before we go any farther, let me give you some context to our situation here. A few hours ago, we broke the news, or the news came out, that Isaiah Bond, he's going to Texas. He stated it was solely due to a business decision, and 100% of the reason why he left Alabama is because Saban retired. There's definitely some mixed feelings and emotions about Mr. Isaiah Bond, and we'll get to that a little later in this video, a little foreshadowing here. Continuing along here though, what I'm going to label as shocking news and breaking news just came out that Alabama has now lost their tight end, Amari Niblack. And yet again, very similar situation to Isaiah Bond. His numbers are not going to jump off the board at you. They're not going to jump off the screen, but make no mistakes about it, this dude was elite. He was fantastic for Alabama this year, and I was ready to see what he was going to do in the future because I thought he was just getting started. Got to throw in there in the class of 2022, he was the #1 tight end, and of course, if he's the #1 tight end, he was a 5-star recruit. And I guess why this has caught me off guard, not because of the timing of it, I get that, but we just hired Kalen DeBoer, okay? Y'all know that, right? Well, Kalen DeBoer is an offensive head coach, and Washington was putting up ungodly stats and numbers last year. So you would think the first players to leave would be on the defensive side of the ball, right? Guys like Caleb Downs and many others. But no, that hasn't been the case. It's actually been the opposite. The guys to leave right away have been most of your offensive players or your key players at that. And that right there is the odd part about this. And let me know in the comment section, Bama fans, what do you think about Niblack leaving? From a talent standpoint, and there's no other way to put it, actually, if you don't want to take my words for it, take a look at this comment right here. Man, everyone is leaving, and yep, pretty much that's what's happening. Technically, not everyone's leaving, but at this point in time, that's how it feels. We had two guys that were really good for Alabama, and they were young guys at that I thought were going to be even better next year, already leave. And I almost got to assume that since Isaiah Bond just went to Steve Sarkisian in Texas, don't you think Niblack's going to consider them as well? And everybody down below, not just Bama fans, but all the college football fans, what do y'all think about this? I'll give you my 2 cents, and here's how I feel about everything going on. I think you got to be highly delusional if you didn't expect anybody to leave when Nick Saban retired. You knew guys were going to leave, so you should already somewhat be prepared for the news. You knew some of this was coming. Well, here's what I'm going to say, and this is my biggest question, and we're going to see in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days how many players are going to leave. Because as bad as all this seems and looks right now, and I hate to say this, but it's the cold hard truth, it's going to get worse. Now, getting that out the way, I need to address this Isaiah Bond situation because a lot of you guys have been talking about this in the comment section, rightfully so. It is a controversial topic, and there's no reason to hide from it. Yes, it's controversial. If you didn't watch my previous video on it, you can go check it out. I'm not going to repeat myself too much, but here is the gist of what I said. I said gyps. I meant to say gist. You get what I'm trying to say. You know what? Let me just throw up a small snippet of what I said in the video a couple hours ago. Matt wrote a clip. And I'm going to clap it up to Isaiah Bond. And first things first, before we go any farther, I just want to say this. Thank you so much for all the great memories. It was a heck of a season. Isaiah Bond had a really good year. I know the numbers don't necessarily reflect that, but you got to take into account the play style of the Alabama offense. He was really good for us. Great high character guy, and can't say enough good things about him. And you know I got to bring this up. The catch in the Iron Bowl. Legendary, to say the least. Legendary. He has arguably one of, if not the biggest and greatest catches in Iron Bowl history. And for that alone, similar to Ja'Cory Brooks, who also transferred recently, he'll be an Iron Bowl legend in my book. I will never forget Ja'Cory Brooks and Isaiah Bond. No way, no matter what happens from here on out. I'm just very appreciative that he even decided to come to Alabama in the first place, and I also appreciate his hard work. And I want to throw that in there and give it some recognition because I don't think your casual fan or even just people in general understand how much work these guys put in on a regular daily basis. Playing in the games, that's not the hard work. That's the fun part. The off season, that's the hard stuff. And as far as it goes for everything he said right here, everything I showed you, I don't think he could have put it any better. And you're going to have some people that don't get it, and they're going to say, oh my gosh, he's a traitor. He didn't even hear out our new head coach and blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. You're always going to have haters. But to all my Alabama fans out there listening, watching this video, and I know it's a lot of Alabama fans, just please respect his decision. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not even saying you got to like it, but respect it and move on. Don't throw any shade or hate towards his way. None of that. He was great for us, and I'll throw this in here. He said it himself. It was strictly a business decision. It's not personal. It's not that he doesn't love Alabama. Okay, so you saw right there. That's how I feel about it. But a lot of other Bama fans, they're feeling differently. I want y'all to take a look at this comment right here. I thought it was an interesting perspective. This is from TJ. I'm sorry, but why are we all being super nice to Bond? I don't care one way at all. One guy doesn't make a team, but come on. Saban retires and he leaves his team high and dry? I get it's best for him and I don't wish bad luck on him, but blank that dude. I'm not going to be all lovey-dovey about a dude leaving his teammates. He was playing at Alabama, one of the top programs in the nation for 15 years. That talent is still there and he thinks he needs to go somewhere else, LOL. I'm not wishing him luck. I'm not wishing him anything one way or another. All I have to say is see ya. Why does everyone act like we should be all loving to this dude? He did his job, nothing more. What do y'all think about that? You know what I'm taking away from that comment right here? That was the most passive-aggressive comment you're ever going to read in your life. But I like it because he's not riding the fence. He's like, no, I'm not wishing him luck. It is what it is. He did his job. Now he's not playing for us. So, no, I'm not rooting for him. And there's a lot of Bama fans that aren't buying it where he talked about, oh, this was a business decision for my draft stock and me and my family. Bama fans are calling him out. They're saying, oh, yeah, he just went to Texas for the NIL money, the NIL bag, and a Lamborghini. And here's my counter-argument to that. I don't see a problem with it because 90% of the people watching this video would crash out for a brand new Toyota Camry. A lot of people do some crazy things for a brand new Toyota or Honda. Don't even get me started on a Lamborghini. Even if that was the case in scenario, let's just say theoretically speaking, Bond's only going to Texas for money and a Lamborghini, I still wouldn't fault him for it. And I don't think it's just that. I think that's just the cherry on top of things. And I think Bama fans are having a hard time coming to terms with Isaiah Bond more than likely will thrive more in that Texas offense. He will. Take a look at this comment. This is from a Texas Longhorns fan, so you're getting their perspective. This is from Armando. Shout out to Armando. Always enjoy your content, and yeah, I'm a huge Texas Longhorns fan, and thank you for that. Thank you for the kind words. You are completely right on this topic. I believe his stock will go up in that offense that Texas will have next year. Texas will struggle on the D-line if they don't pick up at least 2 in the portal, though. Can't wait for the SEC action, though. I feel it will be a great transition for the future in Austin. Another comment from a Texas fan I just happened to stumble across here as well. This is from Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. Enjoy your content, Matt. Very refreshing to hear somebody who is a football fan first and an Alabama fan second. Keep it up. Hook 'em. And yeah, I've made that clear on the channel. I don't hide from the fact I'm an Alabama fan. You guys know that. But, and I have a really big but, I'm a college football fan first, then an Alabama fan. And with that being said, I'm not saying my Alabama fans, you should be praising Isaiah Bond for leaving, but it's more so of I think he's due his flowers because he did a lot for our program. He had one of the most legendary catches you're ever going to see in your life. For me, at least, here's how I like to go about things. Whenever somebody leaves the program or something like this happens, I just like to think about the good memories. That's how I view it. I'm curious. I want to know your thoughts on all this down below. But